Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to discuss Palantir, my Allen fears, ticker symbol PLTR. Highly requested video because I know that a lot of you guys are invested in this company and you like the company. And so let me just make it plain right now. I think one of my main issues with this company is I can guarantee, I'd bet all the money in my freaking bank account that 90% of the retail investors who are investing in this company have no idea what this company does. I'd bet money on it. I bet money about 90% of everybody investing in this company could not explain what this company does to a 5-year-old, could not break down to me on the fly without looking at your notes. Just break it down to me on the fly. What do they do? What does Palantir do? And that right there is one of my main problems with this company. I think this stock is ridiculously overhyped. I think this was a very popular YouTube stock. And I think a lot of people listen to other people's theses on and reasoning on YouTube, and they bought the stock. That's my honest opinion. Obviously, that doesn't apply to everybody. I'm sure most of you guys who follow me did your own research and probably like it because you did your own research. I get it. But I think the overall population of shareholders of this company have no idea what this company does. That's one of my main red flags. But I actually did a little bit of research, so I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the things that I saw. And I'm going to let you guys know what I honestly think about Palantir, right? So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So from what I researched, Palantir is a software company based in Denver, Colorado, over there with the spooky aliens and mountains, that specializes in data gathering and analysis, most of which is done for government agencies and the commercial sector. That part, I guess I somewhat understand, but here's where it starts to get confusing. Palantir expects its overall growth to be driven by the expansion of its two core platforms. Gotham, which is used by counterterrorism analysts within the United States intelligence community. I don't know what that means or what that does. And Foundry, which analyzes vast amounts of data in order to give helpful insight and help drive business decisions. Its third platform, Apollo, provides cloud-based updates to both its Gotham and Foundry platforms. I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe you guys understand it clearly. Maybe I'm just dumb. But I can't tell you what that means. I have no idea what they do. All I know is they work with the U.S. government and they have a commercial business and they're a software company that deals with, I guess, data and analysis. I don't know. It's not easy. Palantir's long-term outlook is strong, with the company forecasting that its annual top line will grow at 30% plus, which I highly doubt, by the way, but we'll get into that. So let's get into the next part, which is the sales, right? So as you can see right here below, Palantir's revenue growth has been impressive over the last year, growing from quarterly revenue of $322 million to $432 million. Guidance for the next quarter indicates that Palantir is expecting revenue to grow 29% year on year to $443 million. This is a slowdown from the 48% year over year increase, the revenue that the company had recorded in the same quarter last year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Oh, I have one more thing. This is good. Alex Karp pointed in one of the earnings calls that Palantir has $2.3 billion in cash equivalents, and that Palantir has no debt, which is very good. I will admit that. However, when you start to dig deeper into this company, you start to see some things that are kind of red flags, in my opinion, guys. One of the main issues that I have with this company, we're getting to the first part here, is the share dilution. That is a huge red flag for me for this company. The share dilution is a huge part, and a huge part of their operating expenses is their share-based compensation, which adds to the share dilution. So their share dilution is insane, and it's hurting shareholders. And to be honest, so much so that the stock-based compensation has represented about 50% of Palantir's total operating expenses for almost every single quarter. I can't get with that. I mean, I understand paying your employees well. I get it. But Jesus freaking Christ, they paid out $778 million in stock-based compensation and $1.2 billion in 2020. And that is a ginormous jump from 2019 when they only paid out $200 million in stock-based compensation. Your revenue's not growing enough for you to give your employees so much stock-based compensation that it represents about 50% of your entire total operating expenses. Like, no. And like I said, this is just my opinion. Maybe you guys don't care about that, and that's fine. I'm just here to give you my opinion on why I don't like Palantir. Some of you guys might be like, well, I don't care about that. I care about the growth. Fine, do your thing. But I don't like that. That's not something I want to be involved in, to be completely honest with you. And what's sad is that if you were to exclude the share-based compensation, their operating expenses have actually declined since 2019. So the share-based compensation is what's hurting the company's path to profitability. Like, what? What are you doing? Stop paying Alex Karp $1 billion in stock-based compensation. Take some of that off and put it into the company. What are you doing? It is insane. The commercial revenue is also, there's an issue with that. It's not growing at the same pace as the government revenue, while at the same time, you're seeing a deceleration in the government generated revenue, which will likely eventually impact the bottom line, right? So let's really look at their government business, right? The company only added $8 million on new government customers in 2021. This is compared to an addition of $77 million in 2020. 2021, it was only $8 million. Additionally, they added 0 new government customers since 2020. They're stuck at the same number, which is 90. They had 90 in 2020. They got 90 in 2021. They haven't added any new customers. I don't like that. So wait a minute, right? They're super dependent on government contracts, but they haven't added not one customer in over a year. And if this continues, what do you think is going to happen? I know. You could start seeing a deceleration of revenue in the upcoming years to come. And that's just not something that I like. Now, when we look at revenue growth, their revenue growth declined from a 34% growth in Q3 to 26% in Q4. This shows me that the business is slowing down. So you got those things. There's some issues I'm seeing in the fundamentals. Then you mix it with the fact that I still have no idea what this company does. It's hard for me to figure out how to value this company or how to project how they're going to do. It is so easy for me to project what DraftKings will do because I understand sports betting. I do sports betting myself and I understand the demand for it. I do not understand spooky alien data analytics with the CIA. Now, I certainly don't think that this is the worst company in the world. I don't like this company personally. That's just me, but I wouldn't put it in the same line as Tattooed Chef for the Honest Company, which are hot freaking garbage poopy. But what I will say is this. I think a lot of investors are not looking at the full picture. I think some people are saying, well, and don't get me wrong, there are some good aspects to Palantir's business. It's not all doom and gloom and terrible. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I mean, in some aspects of their business, they are growing, and it's nice. It's cool. But I think what you have to determine is you can't always be a story investor, right? You can't always say, oh, well, this is a great story, and I think that in the next few years it's going to grow and it's going to do this. I think what you also have to determine is does management have shareholders' best interests at heart? And I don't see that with the company. They are getting so much share-based compensation, it's literally hurting their revenue. Huge red flag. And I'll be honest with you guys, I do not think this company cares about its shareholders. What do they got? Last time I checked, they got 2 billion outstanding shares, I think, something crazy like that. But the fact that you've been doing this for several quarters now, I told you guys, 2019, what did they have? I forgot, but it's early in the video. But they went from I remember 200 million. They went from 200 million in share-based compensation to 1.2 billion in share-based compensation in 2020. And in 2021, it didn't really change. They were still at 700 million. And it's literally cutting into their revenue. It's stopping them from getting the profitability. You guys don't see that as a red flag? Like, that's a huge red flag. Like, how greedy can you be? Like, you should be doing what's best for shareholders, and giving your employees so much money in company-based stock and diluting shareholders is not good for shareholders, regardless of what you think your company is going to be. It doesn't matter if they think we're going to grow at 30% every year, which, by the way, I don't think they're going to grow at 30% every year. I'm sorry. Sorry to say that. Don't see it happening. But regardless of that, the share dilution is an issue. I know what you guys are going to say. The commercial business is growing, yes, but it is still not bringing anywhere close to the revenue that their government business is bringing in. In their government business, they can't even get more customers. They've been stuck at the exact same number of customers, 90, for the last 2 years. That's another big red flag. You got to remember, you can't fall in love with this sensationalism. You can't get into these cults where everybody says, oh, pounds here, pounds here. No, you actually have to objectively think, why am I really invested in this company? Does this company have my best interests at heart? Newsflash, there are a lot of stocks in the stock market where the CEOs could care less about their shareholders. And I don't know. Sometimes the signs are there, and you have to see that. So I'm not going to say Palantir is the worst company in the world, because I don't think it's the worst company in the world. But unfortunately, I do have to leave it in the crap stocks. Sure, guys, they're growing. Fine, I get it. They're growing in some aspects of the business. You know, it's exciting to some of you guys, fine. But the reason why I call it trash, and why I don't see myself ever putting money in this company, even when it goes to, like, what is it at? It'll be a penny stock. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to happen. It'll eventually be a penny stock. Let me just go look at Palantir's stock price real quick. Okay, it's at, it is. Well, I guess it's not a penny stock yet technically, but Jesus, at $9. I mean, honestly, if you want to gamble, I guess maybe buying it at $9 isn't the worst thing in the world. But for me, this is just not a company I would want to put my money in. I'm sorry. And I'm telling you guys my reasoning why. You don't have to agree. You know, that's the wonderful thing. If you think that I'm wrong and I'm an idiot, great. Buy the heck out of it, and I hope it works well for you. But I would strongly suggest against it. I wouldn't have this stock anywhere near my portfolio. I really wouldn't. I don't like what they're doing with the share-based compensation. I'm not a fan of the fact that I have no idea what this company does. I don't like the fact that their government business, which is the least transparent part of their business, which I don't like that either, is not even growing in terms of what customers they're bringing in. Now, I do believe the revenue was growing, but regardless, I think you're going to see a deceleration. I do not see them getting no 30% every year. I'm sorry. I just don't see that. And at the end of the day, this is still an unprofitable company. So what I would say is, if I were y'all, I mean, this is just me personally. If it were me, well, I would never invest in this company anyway, because I can't even explain what they do. So it's a no for me. But if you were to invest, I would at least wait until they become profitable. I actually think that makes more sense. Let them prove to you guys that they can do what they say they're going to do. I think this is where people get caught up. They start buying stuff too early instead of just putting on your watch list and watching it. If you really want this company, trust me, if this company is everything they say they're going to be, you're going to make more than enough money, and you'll still be early, you know? So I would wait. I'd wait a few quarters and see, like, this is what I would do, right? I would wait a few quarters, get a pen and paper, write it down. Company says they're going to grow at 30% every year for the next 5 years. Okay. Company also has whatever other projections they have, right? Go to their presentation, write down their projections, and start watching them every quarter, every earnings report, and see if they're getting close to what they said. And if they're not, don't buy it. If they are, buy it. That's what I would do. But I wouldn't buy it right here. That's just my opinion. So there you guys have it. Hopefully this little analysis I did helped you guys out. That's my opinion on Palantir. And of course, I always want to see you guys make money. So hopefully I am wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong and you guys make a lot of money. But I just don't see it. I am not bullish on this stock. I am bearish. I wouldn't say I'd short it here, but I don't know. Do I ever see it going back to $25? No, I don't. Do I ever see it going back to its all-time high at $35? Absolutely not. And that's just my opinion. So there you guys have it. That's Palantir. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.